So where's the intersection between business and governments then? Are we having a narrative? Are we having a conversation, or are we not? Because
Not
I don't know how
not
I don't
really.
know how business can undertake the investment strategies that you need to undertake when government can change overnight and put things at sovereign risk.
That's a big part of the problem, and governments are not investing in some of the traditional areas. You know what drove productivity over the last decades was terms of trade, to be fair, which was sort of bonus, I guess, um, but also a lot of investment. You know, capital investment. I'm not an economist, but capital investment levels that are sort of recession levels today. Private sector investment. If you look at the growth in employment over the last few years, where historically public sector employment was about 20 something percent of new hires, it's over the last few years, it's been high 80s. So all of the jobs we're adding are, I mean, they may be very worthwhile jobs, policemen, hospitals, farm, whatever they are, but they're not generating new revenue for the country. They're just
Correct.
spending the revenue we've already got. And so unless we can to reverse that and see some major infrastructure investments, long-term type investments, and things, getting people working on those, I think we're going to be in a difficult place.
And in terms of reform regarding tax, no one's mentioned that much. There's an opportunity there for either party, surely.
I think constant reform is good, like in any business. If you keep doing the same thing every day, year after year after year, you become stale on that day. So I think time is ripe for some. We've had these reviews, the Henry Review, and these other things, and pages and pages of recommendations, but never really actually did anything, didn't execute any of them.
Mm.
And that's happened with review after review, not just in tax, but regulation, the same thing. You start when some of the original ASX regulations came in, there were 5 pages and they were probably quite good, but every year you've added another one, and now it's 5 volumes on the shelf. It haven't taken away any of the old ones. So sort of, I think starting from scratch, John Wiley's always on about this, and he's always got helpful advice for everybody. But I have to say, I think he's on the right. I think he's on the right track there. Almost like, instead of trying to tinker around the edges, to start with a whiteboard and start again. What are we trying to achieve here? With tax, yeah, it's constantly touted that we obviously have a much higher corporate tax rate now than most of our peers. Is that really what holds us back? I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't want to be a dissenting voice amongst business colleagues, but I don't come in to work in the morning at Qantas or when I was at Telstra and say, well, we're not going to do this because the corporate tax rate is 30%, not 20. Be nice to be 20, and I'm sure it'd add more investment appeal and other things, but I don't actually think that's the bottom line. I think it's more regulation and investment incentive and some of those things.